It is said that magic was brought into this world long ago by a falling star. Why this star fell to the earth and where it came from are both unknown. But after it carved through a mountain on this land, all those who witnessed it found they now had a power within themselves to shape the world around them. Some whose hearts burned fiercely now burned on the outside, flames lapping at their paws wherever they went. Some liked to follow where the wind may take them, and now they could control those very winds themselves. Others found they no longer had to fear the depths of the waters, while others still found they grew plants from the soil beneath their paws wherever they went. My parents named me for the fallen star, and it is said that so long as it remains safe, magic will continue to flow throughout the land. However, rumor has it that darkness has begun to encroach on the world, corrupting the hearts of those who linger too long near it, which is why we have banded together. We will defend the fallen star and act as its sentinels. We will stand true in the face of chaos and war to make sure that the magic that runs in the life's blood of our world will continue to live on. Hello everybody! Salty Sweet Ren here, and welcome to something a little bit different from usual. Now, all of my ClanGen fans here might be familiar with Thorn Clan, or our old clan Wyvern Clan, or heck, maybe even Eve Clan from some of our streams, but those series have all been pretty vanilla, and while there's so many creative minds behind the game, there have also been even more creative minds who've been making their own mods. And a lot of them have actually really caught my eye, and I think a lot of them are super cool, but one that particularly I took note of, even way back before the new Crystal River camp was made, was the Magic Sprites mod by Gino Taurus. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Gino Taurus? But anyways, they made a Magic Sprites mod, and as you might be able to see, kind of glancing around at some of our cats, this mod gives the cats new skins that are themed around different elemental abilities. And in my intro, which I really hope you guys enjoyed, I put a lot of work into that art, and I'm not fully content with that drawing style, but I did what I could. Anyways, in the intro I mentioned 4 of those abilities. Specifically, I mentioned water, earth, fire, and air. Which, of course, I said in the same order that Avatar: The Last Airbender. I can't help it, I've seen too much of that show. However, this mod also includes 2 additional types of magic, which are Star and Dark. And that's also just not including the hybrids. Like, these are just, like, the 6 pure versions of, like, the elemental magic that the cats can have. It doesn't really have a gameplay effect. I want to try and do something with, like, what their abilities could be at some point. I think that could be interesting. I'm also pretty sure that there was like some talk of having ascended versions of the skins as well, but those aren't included in this version, and I wouldn't know how to apply them anyway. At least like not in like a gameplay sense. I'd have to figure something out for that. Also, guys, I am well aware that there is a new update for ClanGen. I promise our main series is going to get to that eventually. I'm actually currently playing on the dev version that I'm pretty sure came out just a little bit after that update. But as you can see, like the newer versions of the game actually feature this gorgeous crystal cavern with like these beds of moss and a little stream running through. And in dark mode, the crystals even glow. So of course I'm going to be using dark mode for this particular series. Like I was already planning on playing with this mod like before this update came out. Look at these cats, I just love the way they look. Even before this camp was made, I was planning on like kind of playing with this mod like as a sort of like, we're starting off with only cats of a specific element, and we'll have a strict rule set in place regarding the whether and how we interact with the other elements or something like that. But like I put out a poll like asking like what element everybody likes most, and most people voted for water. So I was like having all these plans. Okay, I'm gonna have like this water-based clan, and we're gonna have like the leader and deputy both have to be water-based. Medicine cats can technically be anything, but etc. etc. I had like all this whole idea. Then the Crystal Lake camp, Crystal Cavern, whatever it's called, whatever this camp is called. Like I saw them doing like the live stream for like the making of this camp, and I just thought it was so gorgeous, and I was just like, you know what? Yes, I'm making a clan with this particular camp, and when I was going through and I saw, like, when I was going through, like, adding the cats to the camp, I decided I'd make them ahead of time just so I'd be able, like, to tweak, like, all the cats. And I saw that the cat I had picked for leader at random was named Falling Star. I was just like, you know what? Absolutely, yes. I'm going to be using this as the, I'm going to be using, like, Falling Star as, like, the basis for my world building. And from there, like, I just, like, started coming up with, like, this whole, like, idea for, like, these cats came here because of a fallen star that they're trying to protect. These cats banded together for a purpose. Like, technically speaking, the 4 main elemental cats, like, they don't always tend to get along that well, but because, like, the fallen star is in danger, like, the 4 of them and a band of other cats kind of came together to protect the magic that runs through their home. You may also have noticed when I clicked on these cats that I'm going to be changing up a little bit of, like, the typical warrior cats world building. Like, one of the things I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using a sort of version of the Dawn of the Clans naming method, but I'm going to be putting, like, my own little spin on it. Kits are going to be born with a full name from the start, though as they get older, they might have it changed depending on, like, if they have, like, certain accomplishments that they achieve during their apprenticeship. Or, like, Falling Star was, like, born and was given the name Falling Star by her parents, but, it was, like, out of respect for the Fallen Star. And so, like, future leaders will still be given the name Star as their second name in order to continue to honor the star that brought magic into their world, as well as the founder of this group of Sentinels who are protecting it. I'm also not entirely sure how I'm going to handle Star Clan in this series. Like, they'll probably just be, like, considered, like, particularly powerful spirits and chalked up to more star magic, which is why they have this really starry appearance. And considering that star is technically an element in this game, it might have some very interesting implications, like maybe starborn cats will be kind of like the Aasimar from the Dungeons and Dragons games in a way. Like, if you don't know what Aasimar are, they're like these, like, angels that, like, are like, or like they're angel-blooded people who, like, were born, like, on the material plane, but, like, have connections to, like, the celestial plane as well, or something like that, I guess. Likewise, Darkborn cats are going to be a very interesting case, because the darkness is, like, going to be, like, this negative force that has been encroaching on the world, corrupting the lands and draining the life from its surroundings. Exposure to it can have some negative effects, varying from, like, dulled senses and emotions to full-on possession, or, like, being corrupted, like, from, like, your normal form to, like, some sort of shadowy form, I guess. It's not going to be, like, shown in sprites, but just, like, imagine. Use your imagination. That's kind of what this series is all about. Cats who have been corrupted by the darkness will not be automatically welcomed into the clan. In fact, pure dark cats are never going to be allowed and will be banished if they attempt to join, because we have no way of knowing if they're dark. We have no way of knowing if they're dark or not beforehand, but we cannot have any particularly, like, negative darkness anywhere near the fallen star. We cannot take that risk. The exceptions to this rule are if they are kits or they're injured. In these cases, our cats are going to attempt to try and lessen the effects of the darkness to try and prevent any possession. In kits, if they are born with a particularly violent or negative trait, they will be, like, paired up with a mentor who has a positive or, like, more kind trait, because as they, like, as an apprentice is being trained, there's a chance that their trait is going to change when they become a warrior to reflect their mentor a little bit more. So if we can take a vengeful, like, a really dark vengeful cat or a bloodthirsty cat and have them become, like, someone who's a little bit more patient or kind or compassionate, we will have ways to just make it work, I guess. I'm not the best at wording things, but we will say, like, they're, like, they're like on the path to like being like, okay, like you're probably not gonna get corrupted by the darkness. However, if they continue to be like particularly like bloodthirsty or vengeful or cold, and they continue to be that into full adulthood, or if they become that way, like then we're gonna have some issues and they're gonna wind up being banished as well. We're gonna say that they wound up getting fully like corrupted and possessed, weren't able to fight back against the darkness that's been trying to corrupt them their whole life, and they will have to be banished. Not sure how I'm gonna handle injured cats in that sort of case, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. Hybrid dark cats are going to work kind of the same way as darkborn kits, actually. So long as they don't have any particularly violent tendencies, they'll be welcomed into the clan, but they still can't become a possible leader. Otherwise, their secondary element will be helping them to balance that darkness. It might be a part of them, but it doesn't quite consume them fully. Just, like, think of Kingdom Hearts, I guess, in a way. Like, while everyone's got a little bit of darkness in them, and some it's particularly potent and noticeable from a glance, and some of those people with like higher amounts of darkness claim to be like in control, like the darkness will never take hold of me, I can use it to do whatever I want. But then they give into it so thoroughly that they warp and become monstrous creatures themselves. While other people will acknowledge the darkness and accept it as a part of them, but they don't let it define their being. So while they still might have like abilities related to the darkness, they don't let it consume them. I guess you could also kind of think of it like the soul gems from Madoka Magica, if that's more your thing. Like, a person can only take so much of like that negativity and emotional repression and turmoil before it like all spills over and they become the very thing that they were fighting against in that sort of way. Kind of have like this idea of maybe calling like possessed cats darklings or something. Kind of like that idea. Anyways, enough of that. We'll discuss it later. But I want to at least get through one moon of this episode, and I haven't even introduced our main cats. I've already kind of clicked through them a little bit. Not all the cats, but some of them. But anyways, we might as well just go ahead and introduce you. So Falling Star is the leader. She is an Earthborn cat and is one of the brains behind the idea to defend the Fallen Star. She was named after the legend by her parents, who were also both Earthborn cats and were essentially kind of history keepers in their community. She's always been a little bit odd, a little bit more in tune with the land than most cats, even other Earthborn cats. I kind of like to think that if she's too close to the darkness, or like if the Fallen Star is in danger, she starts to get a little bit of like this headache, and it might be why she knows that the Fallen Star was in danger. Then we have Whisperstep here, and she happens to be an airborne cat who's always kind of like to do as she pleases. Most of the time, airborne cats tend to be a little bit more quick to flee, tend to get the heck out of danger, but she kind of likes to take a challenge head on, and when she was passing through Earthborn territory, as airborne cats tend to be a little bit more nomadic, yes, that is like kind of inspired by Avatar: Last Airbender. When she was passing through, she met Falling Star and decided she wanted to help her defend the Fallen Star. And I kind of like to think that she likes to crack jokes about how confusing it is to have a cat named after the thing they're trying to protect, but since Falling Star winds up in pain anytime the Fallen Star is in danger, it sort of checks out. And Scorchface here was a little bit more of a surprising addition to their little band. When Falling Star and Whisperstep showed up in Fireborn territory to ask for aid, Scorchface was one of the only cats who turned up to help. He's a healer among the Fireborn cats and offered his services, knowing how important it is to protect the source of magic in the land. And he's probably also prepared to act as a guardian to the Fallen Star and will fight to his last breath to keep it safe. And then there's Bubblejump, who was honestly probably not too hard to convince to join them. He's a very sweet waterborne cat who offered to join, and kind of acts as a bit of a spokesperson to help them plead their case to any other cats who may wish to join and try and convince them like, hey, look, what we're trying to do is a good thing. You sure you don't want to help us out? These four happen to be the only elemental cats in the clan so far. I don't even know if I'm gonna like call it a clan forever because I want to like make the world building a little bit more different. They're also the only 4 cats so far that I've marked as favorites, because that's a thing now. You can give cats a favorite status, put a little star next to their name, And if something happens, like, they're gonna be highlighted. So I feel like this is gonna help me to, like, get through, like, certain things a little bit faster, like when new moons pass. I'm gonna be focusing more on cats that have a favorite status. We've also got a number of other cats who aren't elemental, but they've decided to join for one reason or another as well. I haven't favorited any of them. I'm only gonna do that if they're elemental born, or if they do something to, like, really shake things up in the clan, but I'm still gonna go quickly through and introduce them. We've got Ivory Tooth here, who is adventurous and has a strong connection to Star Clan. So I feel like Ivory Tooth might be, like, one, like, probably joined because of that particularly strong connection to the Fallen Star, is what I'm gonna say. Again, I'm not sure how I'm gonna handle, like, the clan aspect of everything. I have, like, these ideas to, like, change, like, the name. I want to change the way the game works to not have clan after everything. But I don't know where in the clan game's files I would find that. Then we have Crested Feather, who is talking to themselves, and she is responsible and a great hunter. So I feel like she's like, yeah, you guys really need to take care of yourselves, and decide to join as a result. Faith Shadow is feeling quite happy, and she happens to be charismatic and a good speaker. Rhymeberry is eavesdropping on Ivory Tooth, oh dear, and is cold and extremely smart. Juniper Tuft wonders how they would run the clan better, oh boy, and is both ambitious and a good hunter. I feel like Juniper Tuft, it feels like he should probably be in charge of things, not the others. In regards to Juniper Tuft, when I was, like, looking behind the scenes, I also want to point out, if I switch focus back to Falling Star, she has a thing for Juniper Tuft. Apparently. I just find it kind of amusing. Like, she's kind of got a crush on him, and he's like, how am I going to be, like, a better leader than Falling Star? Is she the leader just because she has the name Falling Star? I don't know. I just find that kind of funny. Ambitious doesn't necessarily mean evil. I don't necessarily think that this is a matter of, like, oh, Juniper Tuft is, like, secretly going to be trying to take over. I just think, like, he, like, wants to be in, like, a higher station in general, and is, like, thinking, like, okay, I'm pretty sure I could do a better job as leader. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to act on it. I realize that sometimes the way I phrase things makes things sound worse than they actually are. Maybe you guys see more than I do. I don't know. Maybe the way I'm phrasing things is, like, kind of overreacting too. I don't know. And then there's Pounce Rumble, who is eavesdropping on Bubble Jump, and is vengeful and a good speaker. So between these three cats, we have a cold cat, we have a ambitious cat who wants to run the clan, and then we have Pounce Rumble, who is vengeful. I'm not sure that all the cats who join necessarily have the best intentions at heart, but I kind of want to think that it has, like, more to do with the fact that they are against the darklings than being against the clan. I think it's more the fact that, like, they have, like, this dark force that's, like, been encroaching on the land, basically killing all the life around it, and maybe Pounce Rumble is vengeful because, like, maybe, like, she lost a sibling to it or something. Maybe one of the darklings killed her brother or something. I don't know. Maybe Juniper Tuft thinks, like, that maybe he feels like he's, like, a better planner and stuff. Maybe he feels like he's better at, like, being able to, like, maybe he's been, like, on, like, the front lines at some point, has seen, like, the darklings in action and feels like you don't know what you're up against or something. I don't know. And maybe you're just cold, just in general. It doesn't necessarily mean evil. Cold just means, like, a cold attitude. I don't know. Cold and extremely smart makes for a very interesting sort of character, to be fair. I like that. But anyways, that's a bit of an introduction for you guys. And I would like to go through at least one moon before I wrap this episode up, so why don't we go ahead and see what happens in this next moon here in the Crystal Caves. And of course, we have one singular event. Whisper Step leapt from a rock, but they didn't quite land right. Oof, that's painful. In relationships, Juniper Tuft has a mock battle with Face Shadow and stands tall when Bubble Jump walks by. Okay. Falling Star thinks Bubble Jump is being annoying. Oh no. Whisper Step covered for Faith Shadow on something minor. Faith Shadow sees that Juniper Tuft's piece of prey looks tastier and asks if they like to swap. They agree happily, saying they like that one better. Bubble Jump feels like Faith Shadow isn't taking their own personal health seriously. Okay, I like how now it says their own personal health seriously. Because I remember, like, when I was playing with, like, Thorn Clan, I'd be like, this cat thinks that the other cat isn't taking their health seriously. Which one do they not feel like is taking their health seriously? So it's their own personal health. Okay. Pounce Rumble challenged Rhineberry to spar with them. Ivory Tooth admires how brave Bubble Jump is and is giving Pounce Rumble a task. Rhineberry is sparring with Whisper Step. Scorchface thinks Ivory Tooth is very helpful. And Crested Feather bickered about something trivial with Juniper Tuft. Okay, well, I'm also not sure how, like, seeing favorites in here is supposed to work. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be, like, highlighted? I'm not sure. I'll figure it out at some point. Maybe it hasn't even been implemented in this version. Who knows? Falling Star has a crazed look in their eyes. Oh dear. Could it be, like, because, like, the darkness is a little close by, perhaps? Who knows? Whisper Step can't believe they overslept today. You deserve to. You're injured. You have a sprain. You deserve to oversleep a little bit. Just get some rest, dear. Scorchface is staring off into space. Okay, sure. Bubble Jump regrets not eating the bird on the fresh kill pile earlier. Oh dear, well, I'm sure you'll get something to eat. But while I have you, let's go ahead and have two cats get mediated. I'm gonna be doing it at random for now, just kind of establish some relationships. Got Faith Shadow and Juniper Tuft, so let's go ahead and see how these two might get along. A little bit of romantic interest has gotten up there. Comfort increased, platonic like increased, trust increased, and the other stuff decreased. Okay. I feel like Bubble Jump is a very efficient mediator already. Because that was like a pretty big jump, it looks like. Ivory Tooth is wondering what Falling Star is thinking. Okay. Rhineberry tries to set a good example for younger cats. I feel like you're kind of in the middle-aged among the cats who are currently here, so not a ton of younger cats to try and set a good example for, but still. And Pounce Rumble, I believe, is the youngest cat, but is still trying to set a good example for younger cats. Unless... No, Bubble Jump is the youngest. Bubble Jump is only 48 moons, so he's the youngest. Oh boy. Maybe the others think Bubble Jump's a little bit more naive. Who knows? Falling Star apparently doesn't like Bubble Jump, I just realized. There's quite a bit of dislike there. Also Pounce Rumble. You don't get along with Pounce Rumble either. Scorchface apparently really likes Whisper Step quite a bit. And Ivory Tooth and Rhineberry. Scorchface apparently gets along with quite a few cats. Bubble Jump does like Falling Star. I think Bubble Jump just likes other cats. There's not really much dislike here at all. But you really like Faith Shadow, so I kind of think that's sweet. Ivory Shadow seems to be kind of neutral in relationships across the board. Crested Feather gets along pretty well with Juniper Tuft. Falling Star does not get along with Bubble Jump or Rhineberry. Faith Shadow also doesn't get along with Bubble Jump, oh dear. But you do get along quite well with Rhineberry. Rhineberry doesn't get along well with Ivory Tooth. But everybody else you're kind of a little bit more neutral to positive on. Juniper Tuft apparently doesn't like Ivory Tooth, oh dear. And you're completely neutral on Crested Feather, a little bit of comfort and respect, but everything else seems to be pretty neutral, pretty positive on Falling Star, to be fair. Then Pounce Rumble seems to be pretty neutral across the board. Oh, there's a bit of romance with Crested Feather. Okay, I see that, I see that. Anyways, enough of that. Let's go ahead and send some of these cats on patrols, shall we? Send Pounce Rumble with Juniper Tuft, first thing. Gonna be sending cats on just random 2-cat patrols this episode. We're only doing the 1 moon this episode. Just want to introduce you guys, see what they get up to on just individual patrols with one singular other cat. See how they get along with each other, see what they get up to. The patrol hears the scream of a cat begging for their 2 legs to come back and the sound of a monster speeding away. Oh my gosh, did somebody abandon their cat? Oh, that is awful. That is mean. They find a well-groomed kitty pet collapsed by the Thunderpath wailing for their 2 legs to come back. Count's Rumble comforts them and asks why their two legs have left them. The only explanation they can give is that they've been sick recently and perhaps too much of a burden. Count's Rumble offers the former kitty pet a place in the Sentinel clan till they're better at least. They tentatively accept, whilst looking longingly back to the Thunder Path. Oh. And this is Doodle. Oh, guys! Doodle is a dark fire hybrid. Oh, that is interesting. I don't know how I'm handling two legs in this world. Don't know how I'm handling two legs and like being a kitty pet and stuff. But Doodle is a Hellfire cat, I think is what it's called, is Hellfire. And is faithful and a great hunter. So Doodle can definitely stay. Doodle is a faithful cat and has been through a lot. We need to offer Doodle some help. What are you sick with? Green cough? Oh no, we are not prepared to handle green cough quite yet. Are we? We have a single plantain. I don't think we are able to handle green cough with a single plantain. And before y'all get on my case, yes, I know plantain is apparently a broadleaf plant that is like used to treat other stuff. I know that now, guys. I've seen it so many times now, please. I'm still getting comments on that video. Literally got one earlier today. It's been weeks, a month since then, please. Anyways, Falling Star and Crested Feather. Okay, let's see how these two get on a patrol. Falling Star suggests this might be a good chance to practice new fighting techniques with Crested Feather. Okay, how will this go? Both cats have a nice practice session, swapping their best tips and tricks with each other. Alright. So these two just had a good time. Next up, Faith Shadow and Rhymeberry. Okay. The patrol looks around for something to disguise their scent while hunting. Are they going to be successful? I mean, one of them's extremely smart, so they probably can. Oh no, they can't think of anything that would work, but their hunt goes well regardless. Okay, well, at least the hunt went well. And finally, Ivory Tooth and Scorchface. Ivory Tooth has a strong connection to Star Clan, so helping the healer, probably a good idea. As the Medicine Cat's patrol pads out into Sentinel Clan territory, Ivory Tooth tells Scorchface about the dream they had last night and what the Star Clan vision could mean for Sentinel Clan. Oh? Scorchface shakes their head sadly. They can't make much sense of the vision. But it does make sense for Ivory Tooth to potentially be, like, having visions related to, like, the Fallen Star. I feel like that makes sense because Ivory Tooth somehow has a strong connection. Is that worthy of me making Ivory Tooth a favorite, do you think? You guys all let me know if, like, I should favorite, like, certain cats. Just give me a heads up if you think, like, there are certain cats who've done something, like, worthy of it. Ooh, Juniper Tuft is helping to escort the Medicine Cat to gather herbs. I thought that Ivory Tooth was the one who did that, but okay, sure. I also love the way Juniper Tuft has, like, two different color eyes. Juniper Tuft just looks cool. Look at Juniper Tuft's experience, though. That is insane. What do the other cats have? Oh, that's also pretty high. No, wait, you're older and have less experience. How? Even Falling Star doesn't have that much. No wonder Juniper Tuft feels like he'd be better off as leader. You are, like, the highest experience, I think? I think you've got the highest experience out of everybody in the clan. But regardless, I believe that this is a good opportunity to wrap up this episode, just give you guys a little taste of what I have in store for this series. I was not expecting to find a Hellfire kitty pet just right off the bat. I don't know how I'm going to handle kitty pets quite yet. Kind of want to find ways to, like, tweak the game's files a bit to, like, change things to be more, like, fit for, like, my current setting. But I also don't know, like, I'm not much of a coder, and, like, figuring out the story stuff, I don't want to accidentally break anything. So I'm kind of afraid to poke at the files, but I kind of want to, just a little bit. Anyways, despite all that, I really hope you guys enjoyed this first episode of, I don't know what I'm gonna call this yet, this magic-based ClanGen series. I don't know, Guardians of the Fallen Star or something? I don't know what I'm gonna call it yet. But if you guys enjoyed, please be sure to go ahead and hit the like button, leave a comment down below giving me like any feedback you have on this series so far. What do you have any ideas like that you want to see me implement? Do you have any headcanons for this world so far? Any questions? Anything, just leave a comment down below. And if you're not already, but you want to see more of this series, or my other ClanGen series, or any of the other series I have on my channel, please be sure to go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Stay safe out there, everybody.